Pirate Borg, Session 2, The Horn of Havoc, or How to Annoy a Volcano and Steal a Sloop with Nothing but Rum and Sheer Spite. In the vast, salty sprawl of the cosmos, where the seas might be water, or might just be daydreams gone soggy, the sloop Starfly sliced through the waves like a dull knife through a particularly grumpy loaf of bread. Her crew, a motley assortment of scoundrels, swilled rum with the fervor of folks who'd just learned it was on someone else's tab. Captain Mary, whose hat was so flamboyant it could probably start its own mutiny, stood at the helm, peering at the horizon with the unwarranted confidence of a man who'd once lost a bet to a seagull. Their course was set for Tortuga, that haven of rogues where even the barnacles carried grudges. But the sea, being a notorious busybody, had other ideas. A speck on the horizon caught their eye, not a smudge on the spyglass, as Haggis the cook stubbornly claimed, but an island quaking under the relentless thump of cannon fire. Horn Island, they called it, though whether for its shape or some unholy trinket was anyone's guess. As the Starfly drew near, they spied a brig hammering a tiny fort perched on a hillside like a particularly stubborn crab. "Engage!" roared Captain Mary, with the gravitas of a man who'd once tried to outshout a thunderstorm and nearly succeeded. The Starfly's broadside bellowed, a racket that could rouse a squid from a nap. The brig, caught napping itself, sank with the grace of a soggy sponge, and the crew swaggered ashore, boots squelching and egos puffed. But the sea, like a pedantic tavern keeper, never lets you settle the bill so easily. Smoke coiled from the island's far side, and the distant boom of more cannons hinted at someone else having a truly rotten day. Through gnarled scrub and jagged rocks the crew dashed, reaching the fort just as its doors gave way with a splintered sigh. Rival pirates swarmed in, only to be met by a most peculiar sight. A silver-clad knight, shining like a freshly polished tankard, charging with a cry that suggested he'd read too many tales of doomed heroics. The Starfly's crew dove into the brawl. Swords clanged, pistols yapped, and the invaders began to regret their life choices. Isabel, the sneaky devil, flitted through the chaos like a shadow with a vendetta, while Johann, built like a barrel with a beard to match, swung his blade with the gusto of a man chopping logs for fun. The knight, sadly, was less lucky. Blood poured from his side like a melodramatic waterfall, and with his final gasp, he grabbed Captain Mary's arm. "Save the horn," he wheezed, pointing to a shattered chapel within the fort, before expiring with the flair of a bad actor in a worse play. Beneath the chapel's rubble they found it, a black, twisted horn, warm as fresh bread and pulsing with a rhythm that seemed to whisper, "I'm trouble, and you're idiots for touching me." No sooner had they nabbed it than Horn Island threw a tantrum. The ground quaked. The volcano erupted with the petulance of a child denied dessert. And from the jungle charged a moa, twice a man's height, with claws like daggers and eyes that screamed, "I need a holiday!" It pinned Isabel, who, with the nimbleness of a cat dodging a dunking, broke free and dove off a cliff into the sea, leaving her mates to scramble for their dinghy like rats fleeing a taxman. Back on the Starfly, drenched, bloodied, and questioning their career paths, the crew faced a new foe. The sloop Dark Star, its crew as friendly as a shark with a toothache, but that cursed horn had a trick or two. When cranked, it wailed like a banshee with a sore throat, summoning a fog so dense it could hide a whale in a washtub. Cloaked in this unholy mist, the battle began. Haggis, the cook, lost a foot to a splinter and a well-placed cutlass, yet stood firm, cursing vividly as he jammed a rum bottle into the stump for reasons best left to him and the rum gods. Isabel, ever the sly one, dispatched foes with the precision of a particularly stabby clerk. Johann, caught off guard, had his throat slit by the enemy captain. A minor inconvenience that should have ended him, but through sheer spite, or the kind of luck that makes fate nervous, he survived. The enemy captain, less fortunate, met Johann's blade and promptly regretted everything. The Dark Star was theirs, a battered trophy for a battered crew. Wounded, triumphant, and clutching a relic that murmured promises no sane soul would trust, they set sail for Tortuga again. There, they sought rest, rum, and perhaps a few more lunatics daft enough to join their gloriously unhinged band. For in the wild, briny chaos of the seas, where relics hum and volcanoes sulk, only the mad prevail, and the Starfly's crew were nothing if not splendidly, spectacularly mad.